morning. Stock market's going to open 30 minutes. All right. Yo, 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 yo. You guys ready to get going? Cool. Not the world's greatest transition, but I'll take it. Hey, good morning, everybody. Welcome to Forex.Today, the YouTube community of more than 21,000 foreign exchange traders. We gather here today to conduct technical and fundamental analysis with the overriding goal of planning our trades in advance because trading is risky. Not appropriate for everyone. Your past performance, good or bad, is not necessarily indicative of future results. Please stay small, stay humble, focus on the long term. Never risk money you cannot afford to lose. Good morning. My name is Wayne McDonald. I'm a currency trader just like you. Yeah. I also like commodities, not just currencies. I like stock indices. Look, I like money. I'm a capitalist pig dog, yo. So what do you want to do today? Well, it's going to be an interesting week. There's lots going on. And, of course, we have central bank intervention. Do you remember that intervention back on Friday? Oh, we had a presidential assassination attempt. Oh, my goodness. So there's a lot of cross currents going on and, of course, seasonality. So let's go through it. We can do this together. Let's stay calm. Let's stay focused. Let's do our analysis. Let's not trade from emotion, but logic. Yeah. Cool. So a few different resources we're going to use today. Yeah, we're going to use an ECN. You want an ECN. Listen to me. You want an ECN. It's the way that a broker manages their business model. You have a choice. You can make money trading against your clients, or you can provide an honorable and ethical service to your clients. You choose one or the other. Okay, Trader's Way has chosen the ECN model, the honest, ethical one. Yeah, cool, which means they have a symbiotic relationship with you. Now, there are a few other ECNs. Do your research, do your own due diligence. The one I recommend is Trader's Way. You should take a look at them. Then in our value chain, you want to get some training. So training videos. And then we have also live coaching at Investor Bootcamp. Training videos, $88 a year. We also have some live groups. Very cool. That's how you learn how to trade possibly. Possibly, profitably. Sorry, I was reading Jordan's thing. He's like, how's the Fed trip? And I'm like, what Fed trip? Oh, well, I did the St. Louis trip about a month ago, but you mean I had a Fed meeting last week? Yeah, but that one was online. It wasn't so good, actually. I didn't have a good experience. QuantBox is a service for you to automate your fundamental research. There were some massively important things that happened over the last 7 days. Massively important. If you're not a subscriber to QuantBox, you don't know. You just don't know. Massively important things have happened over the last 7 weeks, or even just the last 24 trading hours. But like that COT, there's some amazing information in there, but also our risk gauges. Like if you don't know this stuff, you're doing yourself a massive disservice. I mean, there's no other way of looking at it. You're on the amateur side of the fence. And another resource is TRADARS, which automates and does all the grunt work of technical analysis on your behalf. Also does some great, incredible research on things like volatility. Amazing. And I got some super secret stuff rolled up way up my sleeves. Yeah, that you might see, I don't know, someday soon. But anyways, awesome stuff. Yeah, awesome stuff. That's me. That's me. So just imagine your thought process looked a lot like that. This one's on Tesla. Wait, you have technical analysis on Tesla? Yeah. Stocks, stock indices, commodities, crypto, currencies. Yeah. So imagine now you take all of this together. You have training, you have performance coaching, you have fundamental analysis, you have technical analysis. And every single trade you make is based on logic and intelligence. Huh. Is that how you want to trade? Well, I can help you do that. Yeah, all of this will soon, very soon, hopefully, it's complicated, but very soon will just be one giant service. So think of it as your, like a platform. Yeah. All right, so let's move over. The stock market is opening soon. Yeah. And we had a big down day followed by a big recovery. This is going to get interesting. Okay, Dow 40,000. Dow 40,000. Dow 40,000. Wow. And we are in higher high territory. Yes. So that has not happened. Look at that, huh? So we are heading up near the July projected high of 40,300 and some change. I can't quite see that. 301, I guess. Yeah, of course you can, Abdul. Yeah. I got like a boatload of emails last week to sell the Kiwi. Fundamentally. Yeah. And I think it's $29 a month. Okay. Okay. Yes, Sky Killer. Building TRADARS took over priority. Are you a member of QuantBox, Abdul? A subscriber to QuantBox? Yeah, I know. You have to be a subscriber. There isn't just an email. Well, there's... Okay. So, Abdul, you pick one of these. Okay. You pick one of these. And then after you subscribe, you log in. And you're like, yeah, send me the emails, the alerts. Okay? That's how you do it. Okay? Super simple. Yeah. So it ends up being, what, $100 a month? Cheap. Like right now, I'm pretty sure I'm losing money on that product because it cost me so much money. Well, it cost me so much to develop it, but also I get bills once or twice a day, Abdul, for that. Once or twice a day. So I'm probably losing money. I'd have to calculate, but it's a good service. It's very effective of saving tons of time. But it's actually a pretty expensive thing to offer. Yeah. All right. So anyways, Dow heading up. Okay. Our S&P. Okay. You got to connect these. Be very interesting to see what's in control. You have to go to the daily to actually see it. Okay, so it waited for the daily to catch up, and then now heading up that way. You could probably, pretend there's a mean in there, right? So we're riding, and we're in the upper bounds of the uptrend. It's an aggressive uptrend. Okay. And obviously this price here is the current challenge. We go back to the old support is still the current support. And we don't know, right? Break or not break? Well, we don't know. Yeah, I'm sorry, Sunday. I mean, again, there's nothing I can do. If Ghana is a high-risk country when it comes to credit card and credit card fraud, Stripe's not going to let it through. I can't do anything about that. For example. So it's just like, I'm sorry, man. Like I said, if you want to become an annual subscriber and can pay for the year, I'll manually set it up, but I can't manually start offering, you send me some money and then I'll go into your account. Like, no, I just, and no, I just can't do that. My time's too valuable. I just can't do it. Here's the interesting one. So we have Dow higher high. We have kind of like a double top on S&P. It'd be interesting what happens here. Does this form a lower high? You see? You see? I don't know if that's going to happen. It's more like if it does happen, isn't that interesting? Okay. So I don't know. If it happens, then, I got to pay attention. Today is eyes wide open day. Higher high, double top, lower high. Which one's right? Well, we're going to find out. We are going to find out. Stock market opening in about 16 minutes. Let's take a look at commodities. Okay, Bitcoin up to the central pivot point. I wanted lower low before the higher high, and it didn't make the lower low. Oh, too bad. So sad. Silver down, but gold up. Different time frames. Okay. Can't get other tool on Investor Bootcamp. What other tool? Okay, so, we're at resistance here. Some of this move could be this idea that after the Trump assassination attempt, it propels him or the Republican Party into getting him elected. Somehow it's a catalyst. And if Trump wins, yes, he will likely cut taxes, but he'll also likely increase tariffs. Tariffs are inflationary. And then really, if you think about it, cutting taxes would be inflationary because it could spur aggregate demand, and then demand pushes up price. But meanwhile, you're killing supply, which is also pushing up price. And so therefore, you could buy gold to hedge, Trump's inevitable inflationary policies. I'm not saying that's my opinion, but that is an opinion. And is that plausibly being traded here? And the answer is yes, plausibly. Okay? But nonetheless, what we also know to be facts is that QuantBox, since about here, has been telling you to buy gold. Yeah. So now we're at resistance. And so now we don't know, right? So what's the possible future here? Down in the moving average is higher high, roll reversal, higher high, roll reversal, higher high is one possible theme. You waited a long time to get involved. You ignored all kinds of fundamental signals. Okay, so if now you want to get involved, you're extraordinarily late. It's just like, what have you been doing? And the risk here is now back to the bottom of the range, because that's how you trade a range. You buy at the bottom, you sell at the top. So if you're at the top and you're a bull and you haven't done anything along the journey, then you probably want to break out, pull back, a trap and break strategy. Okay, you see? So if we go back to, I have TRADARS here. Is this one live? Looks like it's live. I might have. Log in. This is an extraordinary page on the TRADARS service. This is showing you what matters this week. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 events this week that matter. 8. But how many are on the calendar? 100? So here's everything today. Here's everything tomorrow. Here's everything Wednesday. Here's everything Thursday. Here's everything Friday. Like incredible amounts of data are coming out this week. Okay? So you could try to trade them all. You could try to figure out which ones matter to you, which ones are going to move the market. But the ones that produce reliable, repeatable patterns are these 8. The other ones are next week. Okay? So, for example, on Thursday, the ECB is going to have an interest rate decision. Cool. Is that going to move the market? According to TRADARS, yes. And with a reliable, repeatable pattern. If you want to see what that's like, maybe you should subscribe. Good. That was good, right? Subscribe to Forex.Today. Maybe, okay, I'll start the webinar early. I'll start the YouTube live stream early so we can cover the ECB announcement and use TRADARS to look at the patterns, because it can create some cool research for you. Now, I clicked on it and it already has deleted 2/3 of the possibilities. Now, why would it do that? Because it already knows the other 2. So right now it's actual. If the ECB cuts, or if the ECB raises, there's no repeatable pattern. Just like that. Right off the bat, we have detailed data on multiple time frames, on about 5 different time frames, on all dollar pairs, going back years. TRADARS already knows there's no reliable pattern. If they cut, it could go up or down or sideways. On any of these time frames, it's analyzed it, and there's no repeatable pattern. It's not worth your time. In fact, there's more risk than there is reward. But if they don't, there are reliable, repeatable patterns. Scalp, spot, okay? No scalp, scalp, spot, okay? No scalp, scalp. So there's an incredible, it tells you even which asset to watch and which one to ignore. Thank you, TRADARS. So that's our week in advance. How cool is that, huh? Yeah. How cool is that? Ooh, risk off, risk off. Ooh, there's some ugly risk off going on right now, huh? Interesting, huh? Interesting. So let's take a look at that exotic trade, because last week it was quite different. Oops, wrong one. Ooh, yeah. See? Traders noticed that. Yeah, that's a heck of a change in direction. That's higher than that high, at least for the time being. So TRADARS on that time frame only was looking at this move here. Okay, what if you're a bear? Well, if I was a bear, I'd go to a higher time frame, and I would wait for a reversal pattern. Okay? You're like, but TRADARS says up. No, TRADARS noticed an up pattern on one particular time frame. I think it was a 15-minute chart. Well, on a 4-hour chart, this is what I would do if I was a bear. Because I only traded this to the south side. So I'm a perma bear on this. Because the swap, the negative swap to the upside is extraordinarily painful. So you can only day trade this up, but I'm a trend trader, so I want to swing this down. So in this case, I would look for a pattern like that, and I want to get south, not north. So, but it's very useful to see that it is heading up. Okay. So now, as a swing trader, I say, well, you know what? If I was swinging this short, this is the important price for me. Is that going to work? Oh, I don't know. And look at tomorrow's selling pivot zone for the daily. Is that going to work? You know what? I don't know. But I need to watch this and set it up. So now I could do a trap and break on a smaller time frame, right? And if I'm going to do that, there are two opportunities as a bear. But TRADARS says up. Yeah, well, are you a bull or a bear? Or a sheep? What are you, a sheep? Right? Which I'm a bear, and it's going up. So bears sell high, but not higher highs. So anyways, so if I got this trapped, I could sell here or I could sell here. But the difference is I can sell this or this. I can't sell support. So I can't sell here because that would be support. But I could sell here, same price, but this time it's resistance because I'd sell a lower low, lower high. So it's a top is a maybe. Lower high is a for sure. Capiche? Yeah. So what are you guys? Let's take a look. Thank you for participating in the poll. Wow, so you're not, 56 of you are risk on. You're not fazed by the geopolitical risk or the central bank intervention, huh? Interesting. Interesting. All right, cool. Okay, so there we are. We're in the zone, and I would be patiently waiting if I were me. Okay. This is very much, when you look at the RAND to the left, very much risk off. Okay. Not long ago, things were quite different. Okay. Look at, we had a downward move for, 2 weeks, and then suddenly 50% of that's gone in one day. So very much risk off there. How long will it last? That's the big question. That's our job. That's our job to figure that out. But exotics are screaming risk off. Stock market's opening in a few seconds. Why don't we go back and take a look at that? Question is, what do we want to watch? It's almost like I want to split this. Dow up, Nasdaq down. Ignore S&P. Because it's balanced. It's a little bit of both. Yeah, some biddy. Yeah. I'll probably own some biddy by the end of the day. Yeah, well, it's right there. That is the Dow. South Africa. Fistful of rands. Yeah, I got you, Abdul. I know what you're saying. I've been to Joburg. All right. Look at kind of opposite direction here, huh? It could be, Richard. And so I talked about that at length in the day trading group on Sunday night. Yeah. Now, I think the difference is if the kid that brought the AR-15 to the rally, if he wasn't a knucklehead, if he had been successful, which he easily could have been if he had half a brain, that would have been different. But he's like, yeah, I'm going to shoot at a distance with an AR-15. You're like, what? So apparently he doesn't have $250 to go buy a deer rifle from a Walmart. Anyways, so Knucklehead wasn't successful. So, you could almost argue the other way where, I know some people's narrative is now Trump is definitely going to win. Well, I don't know if I buy that, but, someone does believe it and they're going to make trades based on it. And that could be actually risk on because I've taught you this for 20 years. The political election outcome doesn't move the market, meaning if you pick Republican, oh, it'll go up. But if you pick Democrat, oh, it'll go down. And, one will say like Republicans will cut taxes and the Dems will raise taxes. And therefore, no, actually, none of that is true. Well, maybe the political platform's true, but the outcome is certainty. What we trade is certainty. And when there's certainty, there's a rally. So if people feel like, oh, Trump's certainly going to win now because of this, somehow this benefited him politically, then you could start trading Trump tax cuts and, so anything that would benefit from a Trump tax cut, you would start buying that stuff, and then he's going to jack up tariffs on others. So whoever you think he's going to put tariffs on, you short sell, right? And people probably are going to put this narrative together. Will it work? I don't know. Turn off the lights and I'll glow. To the extreme, I'm like a punk, like a vandal, light up the stage like a chump with a candle. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know if that's a true narrative. I don't know if it makes sense. Whatever, but someone's going to throw that down. Okay. Yeah. But that's in India, Abdul. Okay. So now we got the opposite, Dow down, Nasdaq up. Okay, so looks like a lot of orders are coming in. Okay, I'm going to switch the template here. Just for a different look at it. Now this trap is set up for oil, not the stock market. But you can end up, you can do it manually, right? What's the range on the open here, right? So interesting to see which one sticks. G'day, Wade. How are ya? How's your mum? Yeah, baby, yeah. Give me some direction. Yeah. Yeah, that's interesting. And now Nazi's struggling there, and Dow trying another attempt. Interesting. I mean, you could argue they're a similar asset class, so both stock markets should be going up or going down. But they do represent quite different opportunities. Okay? One is a monopoly and one is growth. Quite different. Did you guys hear about AT&T? They got hacked again. So what did the hackers get? Every phone call and text message for every AT&T customer in the world for 6 months. How big is that data set? Like, oh my God. It's not like they got in for a couple of seconds, right? Like, how do you download that? Is it terabytes? Is it decateras? Like, were they downloading it for the entire 6 months? Is that why they only got 6 months of it? Because they were like, it's not like. You know? Wow. Just extraordinary. All right, capitulation on both part. The inefficiency isn't in the data, Richard. Everybody has the same data. The inefficiency is the decision-making process. So the idea is that you're the smartest person in the room and everyone else makes poor decisions. Okay? That's the alpha. So you have the same data, but you interpret it differently. That's why something like QuantBox, which has so many layers of data, that you just are better informed. There's no doubt about it. If you subscribe to QuantBox, you are a smarter trader. It's the first step to moving away from amateur hour and moving toward becoming a smart money. Yeah. So now, most people, if they're informed at all, Richard, is they get one piece of data. QuantBox can look at much of the data from 2 or 3 different points of view. Okay? Like euro dollar going up. Okay, great. So people are buying euro dollar, right? No. So there's the one piece of data. Euro dollar's going up, so everything's good. Well, that seems right. That seems logical. But it's wrong. And I can prove it. So if euro dollar's not going up, if euro dollar's going up but people aren't buying it, then what will they do in the future? See, it matters. So how could it be going up if nobody's buying it? People have stopped short selling it. Oh. So is this useful information? Oh my God. And we have a lot of that data. Yeah. Would you guys like to watch the recording where I covered that hours ago? Look at this again going. Yeah? Frankie wants to know that? Okay. All right. YouTube.quantbox. Yeah, it's over here, bro. See, the thing is already you're super late. Because we already did this hours ago. And I don't know. I think I'm being generous by sharing this data. So why don't you just become a subscriber? Like what? Don't tell me you're a Forex trader and you don't have any money. You trade money for a living, but you ain't got no money. Well, what do you do with your money? Well, I use all my money to trade. But you don't have good tools? Like, you don't have good education? Like, it seems backwards to me. You want to become a doctor, but you don't want to pay for medical school. So anyways, yeah, I covered it hours ago. Okay. Boop. So I know that was kind of bitchy, but like, man, you got to have good tools. I'm just telling you, you got to look at this as an investment. You got to look at your trading as a small business, a competitive, highly competitive small business. And it's going to come down to smart people and good tools, like anything else. So you got to up your game if you're going to make it to the next level. And I would focus on better tools and training and smaller lot sizes. Okay? And if you don't have a lot of money, just realize it's going to just take longer. That's all. But higher risk and more degenerate gambling and less no tools at all. It's just not, it doesn't make any logical sense. Just make sure you understand that. Going in with lousy resources and training is not going to make you more money. But better training and better tools will bring stability and focus and intelligence and reliability to your trading. You do that over many years, and you have a sustainable business. One is logical, the other one is not. It's that simple. So sometimes I have to be brutally honest to make sure you hear me. But I don't mean to be insulting. But if I was a good close friend, sometimes a good old bitch slap across the face wakes you up, right? And if we're good friends, I could do it. And you're like, dude, what did you do? You just slapped me. I'm like, I'm trying to wake you up from your dream. I'm trying to bring you to reality. And you're like, oh man, thanks, buddy. Well, I'm kind of doing that. Okay. Build a small business that's sustainable. Wow. All right. Look. Boxed in, man. Boxed in. This is when you get the big ups and the big downs at the open, you know what's happening? Amateurs are just getting wiped out. Abdul says it takes a lot of time gathering all the data. Yeah, well, it used to. It used to, right? QuantBox, really, QuantBox gives me the information I need. Like on the COT data, I spent probably 20 minutes covering it today, maybe even a little longer. I spent some good time on it. And I used to spend hours, and then I paid about $150 a month to get it emailed to me in data form or in visual form. And then it would take me maybe a half an hour a day. And now it can take me really 10 seconds now. And I couldn't find it before, but maybe it's here. Oh, I did find. I see it got buried. I think it's there. 2 days ago. Market open. Is that it? I guess only one major change. Is that all it's saying? 1 day ago. Doesn't seem right. That's a score flip. That's not right. All right, that's a score flip. Open setups, fundamental market open. Oh, here it is. Your CIA. All right. So what used to take me hours, okay, hours. I'm not joking. Back in the early days of trading, I would spend hours to figure this out right here. Okay, that's it. It would take hours. And then I paid $150 for a visualization tool that made it easier to read, so maybe it only took 30 minutes. And then QuantBox was created, and it took me maybe 20 minutes to explain it, review it, and explain it in detail, but also not just the number change, but what it means. But really, oh, look, and Denise, you were right, 3:58. So it came out 2 minutes early. Interesting. So anyways, so we caught this really, really quick. But on Tuesday afternoon, okay, markets closed, and I was updated, and I'm like, ooh, big move Aussie, big move pound, okay, big move on Nikkei. Oh, look at SPX. Look at Kiwi. Wow. Nazi coming off in platinum. Cool. Done. Like seconds now. I like really truly think about how extraordinary that is. 20 years ago, it took me hours, and now it takes me seconds. And I could just look at this on my phone. Okay. And I can think about it. Friday afternoon, even though I'm sitting in the pool, I got my phone out and going, oh, yeah, well, that's really interesting. Okay. What does this mean? Yeah, that's interesting, right? So very cool, right? Oh, extraordinarily cool. Okay, we got a breach here, but look at the opposite. These two are quite something. All right, possible breach, risk off. Possible breach, risk off. But look at this. This is risk on over here. Cray. Very, very interesting price action. Oops, not what I wanted. Sorry. Okay. Well, Richard, that sounds like you're grasping at straws. I probably can prove that that's not true right this second. So again, I don't like guessing. So I have a tool that uses quantitative analysis. I just don't guess. I just know. And I'm going to argue against your comment. I mean, maybe it makes, right? Maybe it makes logical sense, but I can tell you for a fact that is not true right now. Okay? And I'll show you. See? Look. Done. So it makes sense. I know what you're saying. It's just not right. Now, maybe it'll be right tomorrow or next week. But when I look at seasonality, you might not be right until October. You might be very, very, very wrong for the next 90 days. But I understand what you're saying. That makes sense. It just may not be true. Okay, second attempt for breach lower, but this time Nazi's going with it. No, right, but Richard, I'm looking at month-over-month volatility, looking at the options market, I'm looking at the stock market, I'm looking at the dollar, I'm looking at yen, I'm looking at gold, I'm looking at long-term treasuries, I'm looking at short-term treasuries, and I'm also looking at institutional positioning of these assets. And none of that really agrees with your statement. So I'd just be very careful. Like, the logic is there. I can't back it up with any fact. Right? So once again, it's just like, it makes sense to me, but you don't want to be, and maybe you're not saying this, but maybe you're giving me an opportunity to speak to everybody, right? You don't want to paint yourself into a corner. Right? This is why we need the data. And we might have an opinion. I always said this, and I've always taught this. You have a strong opinion. So I don't have a problem with the opinion. I think it makes sense. But you have to have a weak conviction for the opinion. Okay? And right now, because look, if you're too heavily focused on an opinion, you'll interpret all your data with the bias, right? And so I totally get it. But on Friday, I might have agreed. On Monday, things have radically changed. And I can't confirm. In fact, I can deny more than I can confirm your statement. So, yeah, be very, very careful. Look at the confusion going on here, too. I'm so happy to not be involved in this open because we have down here and more up there, and they're going in different directions. And this is dangerous. This is where amateurs lose money. When you watch that video later today, you'll see the direction of institutional traders. And, they are opinionated. And remember, we don't track their opinions per se. We track their money flow, their capital flow. Very interesting. Okay. Both these constituencies, by the way, make money. So like tech is going up primarily because of AI money. And it's a lot of money. So it's going up for a real reason. Now, Dow companies make money too. They're monopolies. Okay. But you can see, it's interesting. Eventually, when I get excited is that they go in the same direction. Yeah, Richard. Well, with the yens, the anti-intervention trade is likely waking up. Yeah, but I've talked about that so much, I got a headache. In fact, that reminds me to wear my glasses. In fact, I'm going to start wearing gamer glasses. After 20 years of just sitting here for 20 hours a day staring at my charts, my eyes are tired, man. So I'm going to try that for a while. So here we're on the high side of the box. So really, I would draw the box like this on this asset if we're going to do the same thing. And this has breached the low side. I'd like to see them both on the same side. That's what I'm looking for. Guess we can take a look around quickly. Take a look at some dollar pairs. Yeah, just a lot of vol, no commitment, no conviction. Yeah, some dollars are weak, some are strong. Yeah, lack of conviction and direction. Just let it play out. Take a look at the yens. Okay, trying, not trying, trying, kind of trying. So yeah, USD yen is not even the best trade. So the one I set up for you on Friday at FX Street was here. So you should have been, see now I can't see it because I got my glasses on. You should be long around 204. We're already at above 205. But this was all just last week. Dude, buy it off the daily 21. What's the big deal? Like, so basic, so simple. But you have to understand how to trade intervention. But I've trained everybody at investorbootcamp.com, so they know. And you can see I've put notes and comments to just keep people kind of focused. But is that the best currency? I don't know. Is this a better currency? Maybe. Okay. And you can see I got it all marked out on a smaller time frame. Let me show you. Is it right? I already got it marked up here, you see. But again, we covered that 12 hours ago, 12 trading hours ago, maybe 18 trading hours. So it's like one of these things, like if you show up on Monday and you're trying to figure things out, you're trying to figure out stuff I did on Friday. Which means you can't possibly be the smartest person in the room if you show up on Friday and you don't know what to do. Show up on Monday and you don't know what to do. You're trying to figure things out. I'm like, really? What did you do on Friday? Wasn't your time on Friday dedicated to figure out what you're going to do on Monday? You should always be ahead. So this trade hasn't worked out, but that's besides the point. It's all been done. Okay? Yeah, it's all been done. Okay, you should have an opinion a fact-based opinion on New Zealand dollar. Okay. Whether you want to buy Kiwi yen or not. You can look at relative strength. You can look at COT. There's lots of data. You should know precisely what's going on with New Zealand dollar. And whether you're a buyer, a seller, or walked away completely. Okay. Cool. There's your euro. Yeah, it's got something going on here. Do you know the meaning of this price? So 171 and a half held. Okay, what does that mean? You should know. And that gives you a very specific target, but you should also understand the risk of that trade. Okay? As well as the opportunity. Okay? But once again, if you're rolling in 10 o'clock in the morning on a Monday and you're just planning your week now, like another contrast to somebody like that, the swing trading group meets on Thursdays to plan this week, like Monday or Tuesday or Wednesday. Those usually take profit days, not like figure things out days. We did that on Thursday. Thursday! My gosh, Thursday. Right? Yeah. So I'm just making the point, if you're not thinking 2 or 3 days in advance and having a strategic thought process, not just a tactical, but you're like, what's next week going to be like? What direction? What is the entry price? Where is the target? You're just not being competitive. And I say that to you, not to insult you, but to excite you. And you're like, he's right, man. I got to up my game. I was listening to a young NBA player talk about his coach. And he was shooting three-pointers. And he only made like 60 out of 100. So his coach said, I want you to do 70 out of 100. He said, so go do wind sprints. I forget, he had a different name for it, but it's where you run to the line and then back into the other line and then back into the next line and back into the next, and it just wears you out. And then shoot three-pointers and keep doing that until you make 70 out of 100. And he said he got to 69 and it was his, last shot or something, and he missed. So he had to do it all over again, and he was running these. And finally he got to 71 out of 100, and he practically passed out with exhaustion. And his coach comes up to him. He's like, that's how you practice for the NBA. Because if you can't do 70 when you're tired, 70%, how can you do 70% when you're tired and somebody's trying to stop you? So he's just like, learn how to practice harder. That's how you need to be competitive. In our competitive industry, it's being more prepared, and your preparation is smarter. It's literally the alpha we were talking about. If the market is so efficient that your ability to make better decisions than everybody else, their mediocrity is the inefficiency. Right? It's like, what's sort of a strange comparison? Bitcoin is a trustless process. You don't have to trust anyone when you send somebody Bitcoin because of the blockchain. But how much energy does blockchain take? A lot. It takes real physical electricity. They're talking about building mini nuclear power plants outside of like AI data centers, right? But imagine Bitcoin data centers and stuff. Like there's a real cost. There's a real energy. And when there's a real energy, there's real money. Like it costs money to have a system that requires no trust, where trust is efficient. Okay? If you and I can do $1 billion business deal on a handshake, you don't need due diligence. You don't need lawyers. You don't need investment bankers. We just look each other in the eye. $1 billion. We shake hands, and that gets done. Most efficient, right? So anyways, there's different ways of looking at this. The inefficiency is everyone else making decisions not as good as yours. That is your alpha. You versus the world. You versus the beta. But are you competitive enough to make those decisions wisely? Well, what are you doing about it, right? Yeah, no money. Yeah. St. Louis ghetto. Yeah. You know, when I was there, Richard, it was great. They had a record player in my hotel suite. Kind of interesting. But there were no records. So I met with the manager of the hotel. I'm like, hey, man, you gave me a record player, like a turntable. But I'm like, no records. And he's like, what do you want? I'm like, I want Miles Davis. Right? I'm like, yeah, get me a Miles Davis records. Yeah. And they couldn't do it. I'm like, really? But he claimed that when they put those in all the rooms, they bought all these records, and he took all the Miles Davis records home. I believe it. Because nobody's staying at a Marriott gives a crap, right? They're not going to use it. I actually wanted to use it. But St. Louis, right? He's East St. Louis, I believe, but genius. All right, I'm done.